morning. It is Monday, March 23rd, and we have a great show here for you. The news headlines, the weather report, and today in history. Because of COVID-19, we have some COVID-19 related cases, some updates around the region, and what our local towns are doing. But before we get to any of that, I would like to take this moment to thank Not Your Average Antiques, an antique shop down Carberry Highway in East Wareham, for donating the props that you see in the morning show. So stay tuned because the news headlines and the weather report are next. All right, we're going to start with Wareham Week. Wareham Week had the following stories. Local law enforcement joined together for a missing patient case. Wareham police officers, with the help from the Plymouth County Sheriff's Department, Massachusetts State Police, and the Southeastern Massachusetts Law Enforcement Council Search and Rescue Team, as well as the members of the Wareham Department of Natural Resources, responded to a missing patient case from Tremont Nursing Home Saturday around 1:25 a.m. The patient was found lying in a nearby vegetation at 6:25 a.m. by the state police officers in an air wing helicopter. According to Wareham Police Chief John Walsek, the helicopter was a useful resource in the search because the vegetation made it difficult to see the missing patient from the ground. The patient was then transported to a hospital nearby for an examination. CPK Week had the following story. Tri-towns, that is Mattapoisett, Rochester, and Marion came together to make sure that others are fed and kids are cared for during the COVID-19 mitigation to end the spread. Marion Town Administrator J. McGrail said, since we did not reverse we did the reverse 911 call, the phone has been ringing off the hook. He added that for every call for food that we get another asking for help. Kate Ross, owner of Kate's Simple Eats restaurant and store in Marion, is holding offering free meals to children whose parents cannot afford to buy. And Marion food donations can be delivered to the police station, Fire Station 1, and the community center. Donations can be left at the community center at any time outside. Provincetown issues a shelter in place. This story comes to us from Cape Cod Times. The Provincetown have issued a shelter in place order. All non-essential services, retailers, and businesses will be closed by 5 p.m. today. 2 cases of COVID-19 have been confirmed in Provincetown. Town officials say that that the cases are travel-related and are not evidence of community spread. The health department is working with the families of the 2 people who were infected to ensure they are appropriately quarantined, and those who have come into contact with them are taking the necessary precautions. And Nantucket officials issued a shelter-in-place order also. This happened yesterday in light of the island's first positive case of COVID-19. The town of Eastham confirmed its first positive case of COVID-19 yesterday, Sunday, March 23rd. The State Department of Public Health reports that the total of 24 COVID-19 cases in Barnstable County have been confirmed. Only 15 cases have been announced by Cape officials, in addition to 2 of the on the islands. Nantucket's order goes into effect at 5 p.m. today as well, and will continue through April 6th. And all child care facilities are closing starting today due to the spread of COVID-19. The state will approve exempt emergency child care programs, which are the only such programs allowed to operate during the state of emergency. 17 Cape Cod facilities will provide emergency child care for essential personnel beginning today. The state will open about 300 drop-in centers to care for the children of the essential workers. The emergency programs can be accessed by doctors, nurses, healthcare professionals, law enforcement, fire and rescue personnel, grocery store employees, and other deemed essential by the state. The program is free to families and will run 7 days a week until further notice. For Cape YMCAs, 2 child care centers, and several home-based child care businesses have been identified as emergency child care providers on the Cape. And that concludes this morning news headlines. Coming up is the weather forecast. All right, rain showers today. They are supposed to start at 2 p.m. Thank goodness, because I just straightened my hair and I'm not about to do that. Temperatures reaching in the lower 40s today for a high, lows overnight in the upper 30s. Once again, rain showers starting at 2 p.m. this afternoon and will continue overnight until tomorrow morning. Rain will stop tomorrow morning, I think about 7 a.m. Perfect timing. Making way to sunny day with temperatures reaching in the 50s. Lows overnight around the mid-30s. The weather forecast call for showers on and off throughout the week. Wednesday and Thursday, we should expect some rain. Highs at 46 degrees and lows at 36 degrees. That is on Thursday. No, that is on Wednesday. And 45 degrees for a high on Thursday and low at 35 degrees on 35 degrees overnight. That is Thursday night. And we'll have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when Friday and Saturday and Sunday arrive. We're going to take a break. As of last week, there have been 5 confirmed COVID-19 cases in Plymouth County. Today, how many did we read today? I think it's 7 confirmed cases in Plymouth County. That's how fast this disease is spreading. Anyhow, to mitigate the spread, towns across the county have been issuing state of emergency. One of those towns is Mattapoisett, where during Thursday's Board of Selectmen meeting, the board declared it so. To learn more about what this would mean for the town, I spoke with former town administrator Michael Gagan and the current town administrator Michael Lorenko. Take a look.
What was voted by the Board of Selectmen declaration of emergency situation, and what it does is it's the same declaration that Governor Baker declared under the executive order, which entitles municipality to any county, state, or federal assistance under the pandemic situation. I think all of our surrounding towns have also voted it because, if and what happens with this pandemic, they may need to access additional services, and you have to have that in place.
Okay, very good. May you please briefly tell us the state of your town as is?
Our town is progressing very well with its plan. It generally follows the same guidelines that other municipalities, in that we have our public buildings closed to the public, but they are being staffed by individuals, so that people can call or they can send an email, and we can assist them in any way possible. Our health department, our emergency services, the police, the fire are all working under protocol as advised by their various agencies under the state level that they work under, and things are going well.
Okay. Now, most town departments or the town halls had to close their doors from the public and work remotely. Can you tell us maybe which departments had to work from home or are no longer active?
All of our departments are closed to the public, but there are personnel in those particular buildings carrying out their particular function. There is no building that is closed and does not have town personnel in it. Each one has individuals there to assist the people of our community.
Yeah, the only employees that have been sent home are those with pre-existing medical conditions or those with child care concerns due to the cancellation of schools.
And that is so, it's very interesting, brings me to another point. That is, could you talk about what plan do you have if a case or one of the employees experience some symptoms, and what the town will do?
It's all under a public health protocol. We have a full-time health agent and a full-time health community nurse that deals with those particular situations, and both of them are in and working full-time.
Now, you mentioned about childcare too. Students are back at home. Some parents have to work from home. What is the town doing in order to, help parents deal with this situation, and also students? And if you could talk about if the kids have started online education or not.
That would be more appropriately addressed through the school department, through the superintendent's office at Old Rochester Regional. They can inform you better on what their plans are. I can say that such departments as the Recreation Department in Mattapoisett has, on their webpage, has put a whole series of activities that are safe activities that can be done in Mattapoisett with parents who have children at home, so that they can get out and be able to go for different walks on some of the nature trails that are in town, go down to the various beaches and things. But there's a whole webpage for Mattapoisett Recreation with suggestions to help parents with children at home at this time.
There is a patient at Toby Hospital who has been diagnosed with coronavirus. Are you concerned?
All of the agencies that are in contact with local officials are aware of the situation, and they are handling it pursuant to the protocol.
Okay. And how long will the state of emergency be active?
That's a question you can't answer. I think what's going to happen is everybody is going to reassess the situation as of next week, as more testing results become available and are put up by the Department of Public Health in each of the counties in Massachusetts. Those entities will be in a better position to make that decision.
Wonderful. Is there anything that you'd like to add that I didn't ask?
I would just add, I thank the folks in Mattapoisett who have been extremely cooperative with some of the disruption we've had in our services that we provide. They've been very accommodating and very understanding, and we certainly want to thank them for helping out own way in a difficult time and being a good citizen, and we appreciate that.
Well, I thank you both for taking my call and explaining the current situation in Mattapoisett. If anything comes up or a new development, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to keep our communications open.
Today's cell phones are not only an extension of our arms, but a life tool. Hello, I am Maureen Farrington from Advantage Custom Apps. I am here today to talk about a certain app, a tool that will help you navigate your way through the Wareham community. The WCTV app places your local community in the palm of your hand. The app is a place where you will find local events, town meetings, local and school sports, community interest stories, compelling interviews, and most of all, the ability to shop local. Connect to the Wareham app by going to your web browser and typing in wctv.app. And then, once you bring up the web link, you have the opportunity of adding WCTV's app to your home screen. Once you download the app and save it to your home screen, you will then have the opportunity to, with the touch of a finger, hit the call button, which we call WCTV, the refer us button. You can refer the app to your friends and families. There's a Facebook share button if you'd like to put that on your Facebook page as well. And here is the menu tab. On the menu tab, we have YouTube videos, new program proposal, events that WCTV is hosting, a photo gallery, contact button, and can lead you right to their website. We also have a shop local tab. When you touch on that, you'll see the local businesses that you can frequent. Also, there's an About Us tab telling you some information about WCTV, their hours and directions. This here will take you right to their Facebook page. There is a donate button if you would like to donate to WCTV, and a join button that will let you join their community. Many local establishments are listing their business on the WCTV app. And you can too. It's a great way to showcase your business to your existing customers and your potential new ones. For a nominal fee, you could list your business on the Shop Local tab as well. A percentage of that fee goes to fund a scholarship for an outgoing senior. So be in the now and get the WCTV app on your home screen.
Absolutely, be in the now so you can keep up with our daily wonderful programs that we produce here at WCTV, one of which being Gilda, a 95-year-old bartender and the owner of the hottest exclusive club in the area. Take a look. At 27 Wareham Road, right at the border between the town of Wareham and Marion, is Gilda's Stone Rooster, also the home to the oldest bartender in the area. You're about to turn 95.
Oh, no. 96.
96 this May.
You got it, kid.
Gilda was born and raised in New Bedford. She ended up in Wareham after answering an ad in the newspaper for a bartender position. That was in 1979.
So I came down here and worked. Finally, the gentleman asked me if how would I like to buy the place. I talked to my husband, and he said, well, go talk to your father.
Why did you have to speak to your father?
Because he had the money.
Oh my God. And just like that, Gilda, her late husband Paul, and her daughter Tony operated the business, taking turns in cooking and bartending.
And this is it.
Well, it's not so simple. By this is it, you are underselling the place. this place on Mondays. It is the stage of some of the renowned artists, musicians. You'd have to go to New York City, pay a lot of money to hear this
Yes.
sound, and you provide it right here.
I was very lucky. Bob from the Symphony Shop came to me one day after my husband passed away, which took me quite a while. And he says, I've got a band. And I said, okay, I'll take a chance. And thank God for that band because it got me going. Now I have a great team of musicians. I have the older group and then I have the younger group. I'm trying to promote the younger group. They need a chance. It's difficult for them to find a place where they can play.
With the new momentum, Gilda was able to bring back great live music to the place. This little diamond in the rough is the stage to great musicians like the South Coast Jazz Orchestra, the Soul Funk Jazz Blues, the Groovelados, and the South Coast Brass Band. Gilda's passion for music goes way back.
Well, let's put it this way. It started out when I used to like to go to dance halls. And that's where you hear the good music. Lincoln Park had great bands. I would go there. And the music just got to me.
So how do you feel when you see this place completely full, the stage is live, when you get to share your love with your community?
Feels good. I'm kind of low-key a little bit.
Are you really? Nothing about you screams low-key.
Oh, sure it is. Come on, look.
Gilda is working on her memoir. Reflecting back, she is very pleased with her journey so far.
It was unbelievable. While I'm writing, I said, I had it made.
It was that good.
Yeah, I swear. Yep, it was good. My father was a cobbler, so no worries about shoes. He made shoes, and my mother worked in the mill. We always had food on the table. The kids, we all had a ball growing up, not like today. You get up in the morning, well, what are we going to do? Jump rope, tennis, we played all those little things.
Just a couple of months shy from her 96th birthday, nothing can stop her. She celebrates 26 years of being cancer-free. Her best advice is to never dwell on things and keep on moving.
Well, the way I feel, we're here today. So come on, let's get it together. Enjoy it. Don't dwell on last week, last night. Whatever happened then, forget it. You got to keep on going. You never give up. You're just going to fight for whatever you want.
It is 2020, but here at Gilda's, it is 1979 uninterrupted. The cozy building is nostalgic, so add that to your list. That next time while you're in town, check out what's playing at Gilda's Stone Rooster. Hello, and thank you for being back with us this morning. We're broadcasting live from our WCTV studio. This is your source for local news, weather, traffic, and more information. And now for a moment in history, let's take a look at where we were today in history. All right, on this day in history, no murders today, I promise, except for drowning. On this day in language history, the word okay was first published in 1839. The Boston Morning Post was the paper that first put the letters to print. The letters are an abbreviation of the words all correct. As you may have noticed, the words all and correct do not start with the letters O and K. That's because back in 1839, it was popular for cool kids to misspell words on purpose and then abbreviate them accordingly. The popularity of the phrase was cemented when President Martin Van Buren used it in his campaign for re-election. Okay. And on this day in American history, Ronald Reagan called for the Star Wars Initiative in 1983. Reagan's infamous plan was to create a defense strategy that protected the United States from a nuclear attack from the Soviets. Reagan wanted satellites up in the space that could shoot laser beams to knock the nukes out of the sky. Despite billions of dollars going to this initiative, nothing ever materialized, and when the USSR collapsed in the 1990s, the project was halted. And on this day in movie history, Titanic won 11 Academy Awards in 1998. James Cameron's blockbuster hit tied the film Ben-Hur for the record of most awards for a film. The historic movie was the most expensive ever at the time, costing about $200 million to make. Those studio executives were nervous about this. They were very happy when Titanic also became the first movie ever to rank in $1 billion worldwide. The record for the highest grossing film would be broken by the movie Avatar of a decade later, directed by the same man, James Cameron. And for today's birthday, shout out goes to Fanny Farmer, born in Boston in 1857. She held modernized cooking by using precise measurements. She ran a cooking school in Boston and was a cookbook author. And happy birthday to everybody else celebrating their big day today. That is all for today's In History segment. To learn more cool historical facts, you can go online under history.com. Stay with us. The coffee segment is next, which is just what I call no, that's not a good word. Series of videos relating to mostly I should say, relating to the COVID-19 cases around town. I had some interviews with local businesses in Wareham and one located in Weymouth to hear how they're coping with the restrictions on businesses due to the coronavirus spread. So we'll start with the Carberry Kitchen that makes healthy dog treats, and they're located in Weymouth. Owner and baker Lauren Carberry was kind enough to share her business, to share with us how her business is going. Take a look. Well, hello, Lauren. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Hi, Queen. Thank you for talking with me.
Now, you are a small business owner. You are the owner of Carberry Kitchen. May you tell us about it?
Yes. So Carberry Kitchen makes yummy treats that dogs healthy and happy. We use all natural ingredients, local ingredients, and just make good wholesome treats for dogs.
Now, being a small business, what kind of financial restrictions or hits have you been experiencing?
Well, first of all, I've been self-isolating for, I think, a little bit longer than maybe most of the public because I am the only one who's in my business, working in the business. So if I got sick, then that would be the end of my business, pretty much. So that was the first thing. I've been just laying low and staying and doing the work that needs to be done just so I don't get sick. In addition to that, a lot of the smaller pet stores that I work with we're in 20 stores, so a lot of those have either closed or have limited operations, so that people aren't coming in and shopping, so they are not ordering from me to restock their shelves.
With that said, many places, okay, the restaurants can only do takeout. You do farmers markets when the weather is good, and you're also delivering to stores, so you really depend on those sales. How have you modified the way you operate your business in order to, keep your clientele and also to help yourself?
Yes, it's been difficult. We've had farmers markets cancel. Spring events have canceled already. Lots of big events that bring in a lot of money to a small business like myself. I do offer online, and we have waived any delivery fees in order to step that up and make it more enticing for people. And it's just, that's what I'm depending on at this point with the stores not operating as they have in the past.
Now, before I let you go, could you please give a shout out to some of the flavors that you make, some of your popular flavors?
Oh, well, the beef and cheese, I'd say the most popular. Dogs really like the pizza and the pumpkin peanut butter as well.
Fantastic. So people can get those flavors and more on your online store, and they can also reach out to you, right?
Yes, definitely. Just check us out online. Our website is carberrykitchen.com. You can order from there or send me an email. We do birthday cakes, celebration cakes, anything, your dog has allergies, we're welcome to accommodate that.
Thank you so much, Lauren, for this fun interview.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And not every business can survive the new states-imposed restrictions. Restaurants are allowed to only do takeouts nowadays. I sat down with the owner and a cook at Carberry Cottage in Wareham to hear how his business is coping so far. Take a look. So this is day 2 since the restrictions on restaurants and other businesses have been placed, and that is only to do takeout. Could you tell us how business is in comparison to how traditionally things run around here?
Yeah, the business has been down at least, I would say like 75% at the minimum. I would believe that people would try to save the money, and it's just expense is really high right now, and all people let's get laid off, most likely due to the spreading and the stock plummet.
So you're, as a business person, you have to endure this reality, and how has it been for you?
It's been pretty bad because it's just think about the mortgage you have to pay and all this bill. Especially, this is a small restaurant, it's like a family restaurant, and our employees now they're all gone. They have to find a way to meet the needs. So, in a way, it's really hard on every one of us, especially the employees.
Absolutely, this is a sit-down restaurant. How many employees did you have to let go?
Right now, we didn't say we let go any of our employees. We just try to reassure them that we're gonna take them back after everything calm down. Make sure they have help and whatever we can do to support them.
Actually, and not to be all political, but this coronavirus is being made fun of or being marked as a Chinese virus, and you're not from China, but you're from Cambodia. Do you face any remarks towards you because of this?
So far, not yet, because our regular, especially our customer, they really helpful. Again, this always help us out and support us with their advices. But I mean, it's really dangerous to stigmatize a group of people like that, because you just never know what can happen. And the wording is really, it's just too dangerous to mark people with this kind of disease, and they believe that they're the one that spread it.
Yeah.
And we're located in 246 Marion Road in Wareham, Mass. Everyone stay safe and hang in there.
Hang in there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, and I wish the same for you too, to just hang in there. This is going to pass, hopefully sooner than later. And I cannot wait, and I'm sure many of us who are listening to you, we cannot wait to come back here and have that big breakfast.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, now that everyone is home, not everyone, most people are home, the kids are home, you probably are thinking, what to cook? What could be a fun thing to do with my family? Well, Scout Record may have the answer. We will be cooking with him today, and he will be showcasing one of his famous recipes. Take a look.
You'll get to see it. We'll get to taste it. Then you'll get to make it.
I'll take you far away, far away, far away.
Hi, this is Scott Record. We're here on beautiful Buzzards Bay. Real capey day. I'm here to show you how to make classic clam chowder from start to finish. By start, I mean I'm gonna dig the clams. This is my clam rake. I've come out here at low tide. The way you find them, the clams around here are called quahogs, which is an old Wampanoag Indian term, quahogs, but they're sea clams. The big ones are called bulls, the little ones that you eat raw, cherry stones. So I'm gonna feel around with my foot while I'm talking to you. I'm looking for what feels like cobblestones. I'll feel a little bump. There's a bump, and there's a couple of bumps. So then I take this rake, go in, rake it in the sand, and lift it up. Let me find that bump again. There we go. Hold on. Success. Success. All right. If you can look and see in there, I just got 5. That's a nice haul. And I always bring my trusty life preserver in my old bucket. That's a bushel, and that's what's allowed. I have my clam license in my pocket. We do everything legal. This is a bull. This is probably half a pound of meat in there. That's a bull one. Another bull. Come over here. There's nothing fresher than this. Look at these dudes. These are 2 kind of big cherry stones. In fact, I'll show you how cool this is. In my pocket, always carry your shucking knife. Because I'm an old shucker, and I've been shucking for years. So what you do is you come in the side with the shucking knife. Boy, these guys, woo! He's tough. You find another one. When they're right out of the water, they're so tough to get into. But I'm gonna get this guy. I'm in. Come around like this. Bring the shucking knife around. He's open. There's a couple of muscles you have to cut on the side. And then, voila. That's the baby. So you take the knife, go around the outside, cut this film off. It's all part of it. It's all edible. Comes in like this. I now have a loose clam that I just got out of the ocean. And it's in my belly. I love it. There's nothing better. Once the clam chowder's made, A perfect matching would be a very fine Puligny Montrachet, which is a very, very fine white wine from the French region, near the Bordeaux region, but actually, isn't Mother Nature wonderful? It's Scott, I'm back at the house. We're inside now. We've dug the clams. We dug up the Puligny Montrachet, which is now being chilled. We're here for classic clam chowder, and you have to start out very beginning with salt pork. You have to have a piece of salt pork, and you have to have it slightly frozen because it cuts easier. I'm gonna do a magic trick and appear with the salt pork. See nothing in my hands? Boom, magic. All right, this is salt pork. This is about 10 ounces of salt pork, and it's sliced. It's pre-sliced, which helps you cut it down into little, tiny little chunks. But it's frozen, it's partially frozen. It makes it a lot easier. So if you see how it's cut? It's already sliced that way. So I'm gonna take it and cut it this way. Nice big cast iron Le Creuset pot. This goes here, and this all goes in at the same time, all this salt pork. I've got the smallest amount of heat on there, and there's the pork. I'm gonna put the cover on this cast iron Dutch oven, and it will render down. Now, potato time. So these potatoes are organic Yukon Gold potatoes. Because of the flavor, the Yukon Gold is excellent. I won't peel these. We'll wash them and use the skin because all the nutrients are in the skin. And I stress organic in every ingredient in this because, let's put it this way, it takes 5 cucumbers from the regular store to give you the same amount of nutrition as 1 organic cucumber. That's why people may sometimes be a little bit larger, because we have that caveman need for nutrition like the cavemen had. Same thing, we're just humans with basic DNA, the same thing. We require that nutrition, but because of hybridization and GMO and all the kind of stuff that they do to vegetables now, you need 5 vegetables of regular quality to be equal to an organic vegetable. So you eat more to try to get more nutrition. Anyway, here's the organic Yukon Gold. I'm gonna rinse them off, and then I'm gonna come back and show you how I like them cut. So here's what I'm gonna do. When we cut the veggies, when we cut the celery, when we cut the potatoes, I want big chunks. Because what happens is if it's left there to cook for a long time, be it a soup, be it a chowder, be it anything like that, if it's left in the wet and cooking for a long time, it will disappear. It'll just cook away. So big chunks potatoes, big chunks celery, ends up having a nice, hearty chowder at the end. So when I was in the water earlier, digging the quahogs, this is what we came up with. These babies right here, all right? Beautiful. Different sizes, lots of meat. And when I want a clam chowder, if I go in a restaurant, I want to taste the clams. I want the clams to be there. So I want to save the clam meat, which will be saved in a colander. But the colander will be in this pot so that I can save the clam juice, because that's a big, big part of the chowder. To do this correctly, I have my clamming knife, my shucking knife here, very special, my favorite one. And then this glove, it just looks like a white mesh glove. It's a metal mesh, which if anybody's gonna be shucking clams, I would highly recommend finding yourself one of these, because you can just hit it by accident, but you're not gonna puncture, you're not gonna cut your hand because of the metal mesh. And I've had this from a dear friend, Tom Casella gave me this 6 years ago. It's the greatest thing. So now, here's the quahog. And of course, as you know, the two shells come together at this seam. They're holding it together with a muscle. So I hold this in my palm, put my knife there. And I get in, I actually crack that shell, but see the juice coming out? That is gold, folks, right there. Liquid gold. So it gave me a little bit of problem by cracking the shell, but I go around the sides. There's a muscle on each side that I want to sever. Now she opens up. Cut this little ribbon, which is their seal. I think it's their seal. And cut the seal around the top, cut the seal around the bottom, like that. The whole clam meat is in there, and the shell is right here. And we will just continue on with all of these clams. By the way, do you see the purple on the outer edge of the inner shell? The purple, the Wampanoag Indians would call wampum. They would break this purple off like this. This shell has lots of wampum. This one has a bit on the ends. So they would break it up, and it was their form of currency. They would use wampum to buy things, to exchange animals and this, that, and the other into. It was an amazing thing. So this is one incredible shell with wampum. It's like 2.5 pounds, as I said, of clams. It's nice to put them in a long cutting pattern, because then I really only have to go through it once. But there's some gigantic pieces in here, and then they'll just be good-sized chunks. And so it's salt pork, so it's salty. I don't put any salt in it. I use unsalted butter. I'm going to put the clams in with the clam juice, and then put the potatoes in. And everybody will start getting real friendly. It'll be like a nice community meeting. So here we are. What we have in here now, we started with the salt pork and cut it up into little bits and rendered it for an awful long time, so there was quite a bit of fat. And I don't use any salt while cooking because that salt pork is salty. Then we cut the vegetables. We cut the onions, the celery, in big chunks. Cook them in the rendered salt fat. Then I've taken the clams. The clams are chopped, and they're in there, 2.5 pounds of clams. The clam juice is in there, and now that we're boiling a little bit, I'm going to take those beautiful Yukon Gold potatoes, and in they go. I don't want to splatter. Like that. Just let them go a little bit. I want to see pepper. I want ground pepper. So look at this. Look at this. Look at what happens here. Look at, can you see that? Isn't this wonderful? So now we're back here with the thickener, and the product is now just about finished. We're boiling, which is great. The potatoes are soft. The clams are in there. Everything's in there you've seen from start to finish. And now, put a little bit flour and water mixture. Because it's boiling, we will get thickness. I don't like very, 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 very thick. And then we will finish it off with some cream. I don't know who this guy is over here next to me. Actually, a boat washed up on shore, with Italian written on the side of it, Italian words. And this guy comes up here and he's hungry, so we're gonna give him some chowder. I'm Pietro.
I'm Pietro.
I am Pietro. From Italy, a boat washed up on shore. I mean, I've had San Salvador people wash up on shore, but this is a first. So, tell me what you think.
It looks delicious. Big chunks of potato.
Yeah.
You know,
Plenty of clams.
It's funny how you said that you didn't put any salt, because
Right.
everything would have natural salt, and that's what you taste.
I hope the finish is worth it.
Oh, it's delicious. Thank you so much for having us today.
We're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
We're gonna cook something else for you soon, so stay tuned. I'm eating. No more talk.
You know what, Doc? This is good.
Mm.
Oh my God. That was as delicious as it looked. It's a really great recipe for, especially around this time of the year, I feel. Nice soup, rich food. Anyhow, we are now going to visit the New England Wildlife Center located in Barnstable to learn about fox season. Take a look. Foxes are some of our most amazing neighbors. To learn more about them, we decided to visit the New England Wildlife Center, the Cape Cod branch located in Barnstable, to learn the facts. Seen foxes lately? Well, it is the season.
This time of year, foxes are beginning to den. It's important to know foxes will often return to the same dens year after year. And what that means is they're looking for shelter so they can get together a family unit and have a litter.
That brings us to your backyard. These wild, furry neighbors are not dangerous, but keep your distance.
If you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. There is always a potential that they could have rabies, and that would make them act abnormally. So you should never approach a fox. But if you are concerned that it is neurologic, meaning it can walk weirdly or have a head tilt or circle, you should definitely call your local animal control or wildlife hospital.
The encroachment to your land is driven by survival instincts. Foxes mostly try to avoid a human encounter. However, sometimes they can den in your yard.
So if you have exposed decking or a shed that's lifted a little bit off the ground, or a wood pile in your backyard, those are the types of spots that foxes are looking for. So if you're not interested in having foxes near your yard, or you have pets or small kids, it's probably in your best interest this time of year to start to repair those things, close them up, and make sure they are fox-proof.
Why so much fuss about a fox?
Foxes are incredible animals. They're not only interesting to look at, but they're providing a lot of services that make our everyday lives better. Think about rat and rodent problems. They are a natural control on that. They keep our ecosystem balanced, and they keep Cape Cod and Massachusetts healthy. They're nothing to be afraid of. If you're lucky enough to see one at a safe distance, they can be incredibly interesting to look at. The things you want to be careful for is you want to make sure that you're protected, your pets are protected, and the foxes are protected by cutting down on contact, not feeding outside, and making sure that your structures that you've built in your home are fox-proof.
It is okay to sympathize with foxes, especially when you notice that they are in distress or could be sick. Just do not take matters into your own hand. Reach out to your local wildlife center for help.
We get a lot of phone calls this time of year about people who are seeing foxes with mange. A mange is a skin disease that animals can get. It's caused by a mite that burrows into the skin, and it causes them to be very, very itchy, and that causes them to self-traumatize and then open wounds up in their skin. And that poses them to getting secondary bacterial infections, and it further debilitates them so they can't hunt appropriately, and they get skinny and then just get weaker and weaker. So people see foxes out there that are losing their fur, very skinny, and they call us all the time for help. And mange is a treatable illness. It just requires a lot of medications, so we never advise to try to treat them in the wild. It's actually illegal to put food out in the wild for them. So if they are debilitated enough and can be caught by hand or a net, call your local animal control if you see them in your yard, and they can come out and assist you. And once we have them in care, it's a long process and it requires several different types of medications. But if we get it in time, we can definitely treat it.
In addition, if you happen to notice a den under your deck, no matter how cute these babies can be, please do not step in to nurture them.
A fun fact that both mom and dad provide food for the young. So as long as the fox are just past weaning, if you suspect potentially something has happened to mom, dad is still around providing for the babies. But if you've noticed that they're starting to become a little bit more vocal, if both parents haven't returned in a couple of days, then the pups might start wandering a little bit from the den. So at that point, that's when you call your local wildlife hospital or animal control. Never attempt to interact with them yourself. They can become habituated, and that's when they get really used to being around humans, and that's something we do not want to do. Anytime we have kits or pups in our hospital, we try to limit our contact with them just so that they do not see humans as a food source or providing a food source, so that they constantly come up to them. Because if a fox comes up to a person in the wild, they're going to think it has rabies, so that's a bad sign.
One thing to keep in mind is that though foxes are not threatening, please use precaution. Call your local wildlife center and do not play a hero. Reporting from Buzzards Bay, I am Queen Banda of WCTV. Scrumptious. It is, oh God, it's Monday. I was about to say, see you Monday. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning for Good Morning Wareham show. If you missed us, this show will air this evening at 6 p.m. and it will also go on our YouTube channel at Wareham Community Television on YouTube. It will also re-air this evening, as I said, evening at 6 p.m. We'll be back here on Friday. We'll have Wareham Week. Chloe Shelford will be here. And I hope to secure a guest for you also on Friday so we can keep this show nice and live. With that, I would like to say have a wonderful week and see you Friday.
Good night, Wareham.